Hello, I'm Dr. Gregory Rogers. I used to be a flight surgeon for the United States Air Force and for NASA, Chief of Aerospace Medicine at Cape Canaveral Air Force Station. One thing that I would like to address right now is that there are so many stories and competing stories about what all is going on with 3I Atlas. So I want to add my 2 bits to it. I don't want to focus on all of the different strange anomalous things that so many other people have brought up, especially Dr. Avi Loeb, but I want to discuss just the chemistry. When I worked with the space program, I knew about the chemistry of the space shuttle, the deep space satellites we were sending out, the Hubble Space Telescope, even the chemistry of Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 are well known. One of the characteristics of our spacecraft is that they have nickel alloys that they are made of. And the reason we chose to make these alloys useful for our spacecraft is because they are so adaptable to the space environment. Iron, on the other hand, is not. So we don't put iron into any of our spacecraft. Well, when we study the chemistry of 3I Atlas, one of the things that we see is that there's no iron there appreciably. But there are nickel alloys that are very similar to the nickel alloys that we use in our spacecraft. When the universe creates iron, it also creates nickel. And when it creates nickel, it creates iron. And so they are always found together. If you look in any asteroids, comets, interplanetary devices, or even the planets themselves, you're always going to see iron and nickel at the same time. We as humans have to go through a strong manufacturing process to separate the nickel from the iron. And then once we have the nickel separated, we can use special processes to create the nickel alloys that we use in our spacecraft. Well, when we study the 3I Atlas, we're seeing the same kind of nickel alloys that our spacecraft would give off if they were entering the solar system of some distant star, and an intelligent life form there was monitoring our spacecraft. They would see the same kind of nickel alloys being given off by our Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 spacecraft. So when we see these kinds of things and people continue to say, oh, it's just a comet, it's a natural comet, except that it's not doing natural things.
In late October 2025, the interstellar object known as 3I Atlas once again stunned scientists around the world by confirming one of the most profound predictions ever made in physics, Albert Einstein's theory of general relativity. More than a century after it was first proposed in 1915, Einstein's idea that gravity can bend light was observed with striking clarity as the mysterious object passed near the Sun. Using some of the most advanced telescopes ever built, astronomers detected that the Sun's immense gravitational field caused the light from Atlas to curve as it traveled through space. This phenomenon, known as gravitational lensing, is one of the key demonstrations of Einstein's work and had been predicted to cause only a minute shift in the object's apparent position. Scientists expected the displacement to be approximately 0.27 arc-seconds, barely noticeable even with the most sensitive instruments. To their astonishment, however, the object's position was found to have shifted far more dramatically, by as much as 4 arc-seconds, an amount almost 15 times greater than anticipated. This discrepancy immediately caught the attention of researchers around the world, since 1 arc-second equals 1/3600th of a degree, roughly equivalent to spotting a coin from over 2.5 miles away. Such precision highlights the extraordinary accuracy of the measurements and at the same time the profound mystery of what might be causing this additional shift. For many scientists, this confirmed Einstein's insight into the warping of light by gravity, yet it also introduced new questions about the nature of Atlas itself. While some astronomers still maintain that it is simply a comet from another star system, others believe that this event may have revealed something far more complex. The fact that its apparent motion deviated so sharply from its predicted path hints at forces beyond mere gravity influencing its journey through the solar system. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb has been among the most vocal advocates for investigating Atlas as a potentially artificial object rather than a natural one. According to Loeb, for a comet to move the way Atlas did, it would have needed to eject an enormous amount of material, about 15% of its entire mass, in a massive outburst of gas as it passed closest to the Sun on the 29th of October. This would equate to approximately 5 billion tons of gas streaming away from the object in the form of a jet. If such an eruption had indeed taken place, astronomers would expect to see a vast cloud of dust and vapor trailing behind it, easily visible in the weeks that followed. However, thus far no such cloud has been detected, and this absence adds to the growing list of peculiarities surrounding Atlas. Loeb noted that if no dust plume appears as the object approaches its closest point to Earth on the 19th of December, it would serve as the 10th piece of evidence suggesting that Atlas might be an artificial construct, possibly sent intentionally into our solar system by another civilization. As the object reached its perihelion, or closest distance to the Sun, a series of remarkable events unfolded. Observations from solar observatories, including NASA's Solar Terrestrial Relations Observatory, Solar and Heliospheric Observatory, and Geostationary Operational Environmental Satellite spacecraft, recorded a dramatic brightening and a striking change in color. Instead of turning red, as ordinary comets do when their icy surfaces are heated and begin to emit reddish light, Atlas turned bluer than the Sun itself. This unexpected transformation defied the physics of cometary behavior. Normally, as a comet warms, its cold surface absorbs blue wavelengths and reflects red light, much like a metal glowing red as it heats. For Atlas to turn blue suggested that it was radiating energy or reflecting light in a way that no natural comet has been observed to do. Equally puzzling was the motion of the object. Instruments detected that it underwent what is known as non-gravitational acceleration, movement that cannot be explained by the Sun's gravity alone. This indicated that some other force was propelling it, nudging it off its predicted course. While one possible explanation could be jets of gas venting from its surface, the lack of a visible dust trail again contradicts this idea. Loeb has suggested that this push could be the result of technological propulsion, meaning that the object might have an internal mechanism, an engine of sorts, responsible for its motion. The list of unusual properties does not end there. Loeb's analysis of Atlas's orbital path revealed that its trajectory is almost perfectly aligned with the plane of the solar system, an orientation shared by Earth and its neighboring planets. The odds of a natural interstellar object following such a precise alignment are only about 0.2%. Even more strikingly, its route takes it close to 3 planets, Mars, Venus, and Jupiter, at distances far smaller than chance would normally allow. Loeb calculated that the probability of a natural comet making these close encounters is roughly 1 in 20,000, a figure so low that it suggests an element of intentional navigation rather than random cosmic drift. Compositional analysis of Atlas has also deepened the mystery. Spectroscopic readings show that it contains an unusually high concentration of nickel and a much smaller amount of iron than any comet previously studied. Nickel is a metal known for its resistance to heat and corrosion, often used in human-made spacecraft to shield against extreme temperatures. The idea that Atlas possesses a nickel-rich surface reminiscent of heat-resistant alloys used on rockets has only fueled speculation that it might be constructed rather than formed naturally. Another feature noted by astronomers was its unusual anti-tail, a bright stream of light pointing directly toward the Sun instead of away from it, as would be expected with a normal cometary tail. This phenomenon implies a controlled or highly directional emission of material, something not observed in naturally occurring bodies. Adding to its strangeness, Atlas contains only about 4% water, whereas ordinary comets are composed mostly of water ice. Its brightness also increased approximately 7.5 times faster than typical comets as it approached the Sun, suggesting an unusual reflective surface or an active power source. Perhaps most intriguing of all is its origin. Astronomers tracing its incoming trajectory found that it came from the same region of space associated with the famous WOW signal of 1977, a mysterious radio burst that has long puzzled scientists and inspired speculation about an intelligent source. The possibility that Atlas emerged from the same direction adds another compelling layer to its story. As December approaches and Atlas moves closer to Earth, the world's telescopes are now fixed upon it, waiting for answers. In 2014, a remarkable discovery was made while examining photographs taken by NASA's Curiosity rover on Mars. UFO researchers spotted a cigar-shaped object hovering above the Martian surface, an anomaly that has since sparked widespread speculation and intrigue. The images, captured by Curiosity's right-hand navigation camera on May 4th, show what appears to be a long, cylindrical white object suspended in the Martian sky for approximately 16 minutes. This unusual sighting has led many to question whether extraterrestrial activity is being observed around Mars and whether NASA is withholding crucial information about the presence of unknown objects orbiting the red planet. Curiosity has been actively exploring the Gale crater on Mars since 2012, capturing thousands of raw images as part of its mission to study the planet's surface, atmosphere, and geological history. These images are sent back to Earth for analysis, providing scientists and independent researchers alike with an opportunity to examine every aspect of the Martian environment. It was during one of these routine examinations that UFO enthusiasts noticed something unusual, a sleek, elongated object hovering in the sky, unlike anything previously observed on Mars. The shape and appearance of the object immediately caught the attention of researchers. Unlike the usual debris, dust particles, or camera anomalies that can sometimes appear in space imagery, this object exhibited characteristics that suggested it was something far more structured and deliberate. The cylindrical shape has been widely reported in past UFO sightings, particularly those involving so-called cigar-shaped UFOs, which have been observed on Earth for decades. The fact that an object with similar features has now been captured hovering over Mars raises profound questions about the possibility of extraterrestrial activity in the Martian orbit. Perhaps the most compelling aspect of this sighting is that the object remained in the air for 16 minutes. If this were merely an artifact of the camera, an issue with light exposure, or an optical illusion, it would not have persisted for such a significant length of time. Additionally, given Mars's thin atmosphere and lack of strong winds capable of suspending objects in mid-air, the possibility that this was some form of natural debris seems highly unlikely. Researchers argue that the object's presence, position, and duration suggest deliberate movement or control, rather than an uncontrolled environmental phenomenon. This sighting is not the first time cigar-shaped UFOs have been linked to space exploration. If the object seen in Curiosity's 2014 images is indeed an advanced craft, it raises several critical questions. Why was it hovering over Mars? Was it observing the rover, or did it have a separate mission on the planet? Some researchers speculate that Mars, being one of the most Earth-like planets in our solar system, could be of interest to extraterrestrial visitors. If intelligent life exists elsewhere, it would make sense for them to monitor planets that hold potential for life or future colonization. The idea that we are not alone in exploring Mars is both exciting and unsettling. NASA has remained silent on the issue, providing no clear explanation for the anomaly. The space agency has a long history of dismissing UFO-related findings, often attributing them to camera glitches, reflections, or natural phenomena. However, given the object's clear shape, prolonged presence, and structured appearance, these conventional explanations fall short. The lack of an official statement has only fueled speculation that NASA is withholding evidence of extraterrestrial encounters. Some argue that the object could be space debris or a speck of dust on the camera lens, but these explanations fail to account for the sustained appearance of the object for over 16 minutes. If it were dust or a photographic artifact, it would likely appear in only one frame or change position erratically. Instead, the cigar-shaped UFO remained consistently in view, behaving in a way that suggests it was a physical object hovering in Martian airspace. Another interesting aspect of this sighting is the possibility that extraterrestrial beings are already observing Mars. Some theorists propose that intelligent civilizations might have been monitoring our space missions for decades, ensuring that human activity in space does not interfere with their own operations. If this were the case, the presence of the cylindrical UFO near Curiosity would make perfect sense. It could be a probe or a reconnaissance craft sent to observe the rover's activities. The discovery of this object also aligns with previous UFO sightings around Mars, as well as claims made by former NASA employees and astronauts who have hinted at strange encounters in space. Over the years, multiple images from various Mars missions have depicted unexplained lights, hovering objects, and even structures on the Martian surface. While NASA typically ignores or downplays these findings, the sheer volume of anomalies suggests that there is far more happening on Mars than we are being told. With new Mars missions and advanced imaging technology on the horizon, researchers are hopeful that even more evidence will emerge in the coming years. Space agencies such as NASA, ESA, and SpaceX continue to send rovers and probes to the Red Planet, increasing the likelihood that another unexplained craft could be caught on camera. If intelligent extraterrestrial beings are indeed monitoring Mars, the possibility of a future encounter or more direct evidence grows stronger. The 2014 cigar-shaped UFO sighting near Mars remains one of the most compelling pieces of evidence for extraterrestrial activity beyond Earth. Its structured appearance, prolonged duration, and similarity to other known UFOs make it difficult to dismiss. Whether this was an alien craft, an unknown space vehicle, or something beyond human comprehension, one thing is clear: Mars continues to be a hotspot for mysteries that defy explanation. As more images and data from Mars missions continue to surface, the world may soon be forced to confront the reality that we are not alone, and we may have never been alone to begin with. Oddly enough, this isn't the first time that a strange object has been seen close to Mars. The Phobos 2 mission remains one of the most mysterious and controversial space explorations in history. Launched in July 1988, it was the second Soviet spacecraft sent to study Mars's mysterious moon, Phobos. The mission's primary objectives were to analyze the Martian atmosphere, surface, and gravitational properties of Phobos, but what happened in March 1989 would overshadow the mission's scientific goals and leave one of the most perplexing UFO encounters in space exploration history. On March 27, 1989, just months before Phobos 2-2 lost contact with Earth, the spacecraft captured a series of astonishing images. Among them was an image that would become the subject of intense speculation and debate: a long cylindrical object hovering above the Martian surface. Unlike anything previously observed in space, this object had a smooth, structured appearance and cast a distinct shadow on the Martian terrain below. The shape, size, and alignment of this shadow suggested that it was not a mere trick of light or a natural celestial formation. Instead, it appeared to be an actual, physical object. The presence of this cigar-shaped UFO immediately raised questions about what Phobos 2 had encountered. The object's elongated structure did not match any known asteroid or natural Martian geological formation. Unlike ordinary space debris or celestial bodies, which typically rotate or drift unpredictably, this object appeared to maintain a deliberate, controlled position. Some researchers have pointed out that the structure bore striking similarities to other cigar-shaped UFOs that have been reported throughout history, both on Earth and in space. The fact that an unmanned spacecraft orbiting Mars captured such an object only intensified the mystery. The most puzzling aspect of this encounter was what happened immediately after the photograph was taken. Shortly after transmitting these images back to mission control, Phobos 2 suddenly and inexplicably lost contact. The spacecraft was functioning properly up until this moment, leading to speculation that the encounter with the unidentified object may have played a role in its sudden disappearance. Some researchers suggest that Phobos 2 may have been deliberately disabled to prevent further transmission of images. Whether this was due to an external force or an unknown phenomenon remains a subject of debate. The Soviet Space Agency at the time provided no clear explanation for the loss of Phobos 2. While technical failures are always a possibility in space missions, it is unusual for a spacecraft to suddenly go silent immediately after capturing an unexplained anomaly. This sequence of events led many to believe that the spacecraft may have been interfered with by an unknown intelligence. To this day, the exact cause of Phobos 2's failure remains classified and unsolved. Adding to the intrigue, Russian scientists who were involved in the mission later hinted at the possibility of an external force being responsible for the failure. During a press conference, Soviet space officials acknowledged that something unusual had occurred, but refrained from making definitive statements about what exactly caused the spacecraft to fail. Some reports even suggested that the images taken before the loss of contact were analyzed privately, raising suspicions that more information exists than has been publicly disclosed. One of the most striking aspects of this case is how it aligns with other UFO encounters in space. Over the years, astronauts from both NASA and the Soviet space program have reported seeing unidentified objects in orbit. Many of these objects share the same elongated, cylindrical shape seen in the Phobos 2 images. Some theorists propose that these objects are not random anomalies, but part of an ongoing extraterrestrial presence in space, monitoring human activities beyond Earth. Additionally, the location of this encounter is noteworthy. Phobos, the Martian moon that the spacecraft was sent to study, has been the subject of speculation for decades. Some scientists have suggested that Phobos itself may not be a natural moon, but rather a hollowed-out artificial structure. It exhibits strange orbital behaviors, and radar scans have hinted at unusual internal compositions. If there is any truth to the idea that Phobos is more than just a natural satellite, then the presence of an unidentified object near it becomes even more significant. Many researchers believe that the Phobos 2 incident is one of the most compelling pieces of evidence that we are not alone. The clear, structured shape of the object, the fact that it cast a distinct shadow, and the mysterious loss of the spacecraft immediately after taking the image all suggest that this was not a simple technical failure or natural occurrence. If Phobos 2 had merely malfunctioned due to mechanical issues, there would be no reason to associate its failure with the appearance of the cylindrical UFO. However, the timing of events and the peculiar nature of the object in the image make this one of the most unexplained encounters in space exploration. To this day, NASA and other space agencies have not officially commented on the Phobos 2 UFO images, nor have they provided any explanations that satisfy the questions raised by researchers. The lack of transparency surrounding this case has only fueled further suspicion. Was Phobos 2's transmission intentionally disrupted to keep the world from seeing something we weren't meant to see? With modern space exploration technology improving, the possibility of future encounters with similar objects is very real. Private space agencies, such as SpaceX, are now launching their own missions to Mars, meaning that more eyes than ever before are watching the Martian surface. If there is indeed something out there, it is only a matter of time before more evidence surfaces. The Phobos 2 incident stands as a reminder that space is still a vast and largely unknown frontier. While scientific missions seek to uncover the secrets of the universe, there may be forces at play that we do not yet fully understand. The presence of an unidentified, structured object hovering near Mars, captured by a government spacecraft before its mysterious disappearance, is a story that demands further investigation. Until more answers emerge, the case of Phobos 2 and its final transmission remains one of the most intriguing UFO mysteries of all time. UFOs appearing in Mars images is not a new phenomenon. Over the years, NASA's rovers and orbiters have captured multiple anomalies that have sparked debate among researchers and UFO enthusiasts. The Curiosity rover, Perseverance, and older missions like Viking and Spirit have all recorded strange objects in the Martian sky that resemble classic UFO shapes, including orbs, disks, and cylindrical objects.